On a numbers game, the right data changes everything, and the data behind Shopify is hard to argue with. Millions of businesses worldwide run on it, including our own VSiN store. When we launched, Shopify's templates and AI tools got us live fast. Professional looking from day one. No tech background needed. Shopify checkout converts more customers and makes it easy for returning fans to come back and buy again in a single click. Shopify's built-in AI assistant Sidekick is there whenever you need help, building, troubleshooting, or just figuring out your next move. Check out what we built at vsin.com/store. Then go build something of your own. All you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. That's shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander on VSiN.
Hour number 2 of a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM Channel 158. It's Gill Alexander. Kelley Bydlon's in Vegas.
Hey.
I'm in San Francisco. You good there, man?
I'm
lonely?
great.
You okay?
Not as good as you. It's gorgeous behind you, man. Finally, we got a clear day in San Francisco. Show off that fancy view of yours, you know? Huh?
Yes. It's just not clear in the mornings every day
Right.
in June and July. It's June gloom. And then I heard the other day somebody said no sky July was their comment about July, which I thought was pretty cool. But whenever, we do something like this, which is rarely ever, but this is the first time we've done like extended weeks in San Francisco. So you get like everybody's opinion on this kind of stuff. And just give you 2 consecutive tweets just to let you know how it's never consistent. No Emu Doug. I'm kind of grooving on the ocean background. Is there any way to keep Gill in his Bay Area happy place? Let Kelley work from a beach house somewhere. Ooh. And then the numbers guys comes back with, is this going to be a recurring thing, you in San Francisco? I don't know why I like you better in Vegas. I think it's the notion that Vegas is the Mecca and you're the Vegas Statistics and Information Network. I would be sad if there was a rebrand moving. No. This is my final week in San Francisco, headed back to Vegas.
You mean the San Francisco Sports and Information Network just doesn't hit the same? I guess that makes sense.
Do you ever hear anybody called the Vegas Statistics and Information Network? Yeah. Okay. Archie Green, I don't believe the Cleveland Browns will be some great team this year, but I also think people are giving Kevin Stefanski way too much credit. The world is about to see that he is awful. There you go. Okay. Patrick Kelley says, FYI, numbers moving on LeBron's next team. Again?
Yeah.
Who to this time?
I don't know. Well, we'll see if it's moved in a few hours. I did look at it this morning, and it was Heat like even money almost. Plus 108, I think I saw this morning.
Chance Copperpot. I missed this first few segments, so apologies if this was already said. As an obnoxious audio snob, I would like to thank whomever is responsible for Gill's improved quality of sound from the Bay Area. Wasn't the quality of sound here always awesome from the beginning, Kelley? I believe.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah.
Chance is too busy, man. He's too big time these days. He's all over Twitter. He's fighting with people. He doesn't have the same time he used to have to.
He's in Wishnev's Discord starting up stuff. I know. And then Betting X Factors wants to follow up with his proxy question, and we'll leave it at this. But he goes, how would you handle someone placing the wrong bet for you and it wins? Well, I would give him a good pat on the back. That's what I would do.
Right, exactly. All right, updated LeBron James next team odds using sports fan mode over at Kalshi. Miami plus 152, Cleveland plus 158, Golden State plus 573, Philadelphia plus 684. So I guess some more Cleveland steam again today. I don't know.
I wasn't going to start with this with Drew, but I figure it's the good segue. Drew Dinsick joins us now courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line at whale_capper, host of the Deep Dive podcast, which he does with Andy Molitor, and of course, NBC Sports Bet the Edge, which he does with Jay Croucher. Drew, good morning. Do you care where LeBron goes at this point?
I do, only because of sports fan mode at Kalshi, which has $180 million matched on this stupid. What are we doing? What are we doing here, people? Holy smokes! Are
you part of that volume?
No, I've never got the goods. The only cloak and dagger guy I know he did have Miami when they were like around 13%, and then as soon as it like went nuclear, jumped to 47. I was like, wait, is it over? Is it done? And he's like, I didn't hear. He was basically just speculating when he got in at 13 cents. So I don't think that anyone really knows. And you know what? I also think it's not going to matter for next year's NBA championship. This is a long protracted kind of situation for something that ultimately is not going to move the needle much at all. I appreciate everything LeBron James has done for the sport of basketball. It's been an amazing 30 years watching him play. But I don't really have a strong opinion about where he plays into his age 42 season.
Well, here's what I was really going to start with, which is I don't often live through other people's bets, but that wasn't the case with the World Cup semifinal. For whatever reason, when watching Argentina and England, all I kept thinking about was, isn't Drew's biggest bet Argentina to make the final? And famously, it's a 1-0 England late. Just take me through those emotions with Argentina getting the equalizer and then the go-ahead winner.
Yeah, the entire way that the way that the World Cup broke for the last 4 matches, including the third place match, I couldn't have scripted it up better if I was writing what I wanted to happen. That was absolutely amazing. The comeback by Argentina was truly electric when they flipped the switch, and it was just wave after attacking wave. And England couldn't even, couldn't even complete passes to, the teammates. It was like, oh boy, here we go. This is actually going to happen. But, soccer is weird. Sometimes the ball doesn't go in the net, and it's like, even though they had all of these attacking chances, it felt like they just kept missing, hitting, McAllister drills the pole, and, there's guys just over the crossbar, and it's like, man, this might just not happen. And then all of a sudden the dam broke and Argentina comes through, and it was a huge windfall for me. I ended up on draw the double result in the final. I had some 0-0. I was extremely happy with exactly how few goals we saw in regulation there, and happy that the right team won. Spain was clearly the best. The fact that they didn't get it done in regulation is kind of amazing. Like, that could have easily broken in a 4-0 type of decision. I wouldn't have been surprised. And it was kind of, but it was the handicap was pretty sound, which was Argentina needs to muck this up. They need to hold on for dear life and defend and hope that Spain missed their chances. And that's what happened for 95+ minutes, and then once they were down a man, it was pretty much over. So it was I thought it was a great World Cup final. I thought it was a great World Cup overall. Hat tip to the folks over at Telemundo who put an absolutely incredible broadcast together for a month and a half. I had probably the worst case of the Mondays you can ever have yesterday, after realizing it was over and that summer is now just, sitting around waiting 50 days for football to start. It was like, I really don't want to face going back to, I got to work during the day now. I can't just, flip on and watch international sports. This stinks. It was an incredible run. Happy Argentina got to the final. Happy that they didn't win just because they didn't deserve it. And then, it was this one will be pretty memorable, I think. A lot of complaining, myself included, belly aching about the change of the format before it started. You know what? I liked 104 soccer games. No complaints about the expanded format. It gave us the best teams in the end. It was that one will go down.
Also, what I loved about that little dissertation here is learning that seismology doesn't sleep. You're still at it on a daily basis now that the World Cup is over. I'm comforted by that. All right. So speaking of our football, now we have that behind us, our football. You and Andy, can you remind us what you two do on the deep dive in terms of the National Football League run-up?
Yeah, so now that we're not distracted by soccer, they're going to get good. we do a dedicated hour to every team. We do an hour. do an hour. I have felt a little behind the ball so far, and I've been in a little bit of slow motion so far. We got 6 teams in the book, and none that I think of are of particular consequence. But we do an hour dedicated to each team. We talk 15 minutes where we do like an autopsy of what happened in 2025. We do 15 minutes on changes that were made during the offseason. We spend 15 minutes on our fair ratings for all of the different units and their overall team rating. And then 15 minutes looking at their schedule and talking about futures and how we want to try to approach them from a betting standpoint. And we get out before an hour. So we're going to do this for the next 6.5 weeks, which will get us to 32 teams. Yeah, I'm fired up already. I mean, it's a wide open season. There's a million angles we can go on talking about sort of the macro of the NFL this year. And it's a good balance to kind of talk to you guys about the macro side of it and then go into the micro in terms of, well, how should we be rating the New York Jets pass rush? Well, what is going on here with the changes that were made, and are they going to be better or worse? And, how do they stack up? And, that it's a perfect balance for kind of getting yourself into football betting mindset.
And you earn the title of the podcast, Deep Dive, with these football deep dives an hour at a time. Give us one before the break here. Give us one big macro NFL thing, if you could.
Oh, man. The very clear macro as I look across the NFL this year is that you have 6 teams that I think have you're an old diehard football outsider guy like me. I know it. And one of the kind of truths was always you can't predict defense year to year. But when you look at the talent and the quality of the scheme for 6 of the defenses in the NFL this year, it will be pretty shocking to nearly impossible to expect that the likes of Houston, Seattle, Denver, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles, those 6 teams having top 10 defenses, I think you can write in pen. And, it comes down to, the talent that they have on the roster and the quality of this guy, the guy that's putting the defense together, just to me looks unimpeachable. And so you have these 6 teams with very high floors, but they do not necessarily have complementary offenses outside of the Rams, who are the most fragile because of potential, kind of downgrading due to injuries. So, it's an interesting way to kind of put things together, because on the flip side, the elite quarterbacks that we know and would rate highest all have, kind of flawed teams. So, there's no certainty this year. It's going to be very fun and wide open.
Drew, repeat those 6 teams again before the break. Eagles, Vikings, Rams.
Eagles, Vikings, Rams, Seahawks, Broncos, and
Texans.
Texans.
You're here because you want an edge. That's what separates listeners from winners. But let's be real, mindset alone doesn't get bets home. Pros win because they've got the tools, the data, and the discipline. And now so can you. VEASAN Pro gives you access to the same real-time insights the sharps use. No secrets, no fluff, just actionable info that moves markets. Tap the link and see why serious bettors are turning knowledge into profit with VEASAN Pro.
A numbers game on VEASAN, the sports betting network.
Hey, do not forget that our VEASAN NFL betting guide is out now. Whether you're betting futures, win totals, division races, MVP, Rookie of the Year, or Super Bowl odds, our guide helps you get ahead of the market before training camps begin. Inside, you'll find breakdowns of all 32 teams, projected win totals, best bets from VEASAN experts, futures analysis, power ratings, and more. Get it today with our football special for just $175. The sooner you sign up, the more value you get, with full access to everything we do across every sport through the Super Bowl. That includes daily best bets, real-time betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, AI-powered prop projections, and 24/7 video on the VEASAN Watch app. Head to VEASAN.com/subscribe now. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. We had tweets beating the book. Jesse Welch. I love that whilst. He used the word whilst, by the way. I'm always a fan of that.
Good job, Jesse.
I love that whilst grading Gill's tips earlier, Kelley graded on a out of 5 stars, then a letter grade, and then out of 10. Fantastic work, Kelley.
That's right. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. It was an ad
you
lib
warned
start
us you
of
were
the
going
show.
to take liberties. That's right. Poke Therapy. Welcome back from holiday. Gill, have you spoken about Wimbledon since you've been back? Sorry if I missed it. Only briefly, because we're a week past Wimbledon. But what I said was, Wimbledon was the first slam this year where I ended up being a slight loser on, but it ended up okay and made it a slight because the last few matches were good. But since then, this strange, and Drew and I were kind of talking about this off air, this very strange stray clay sprinkle hard court weird season that feels like it's longer than it usually has been after grass. That's gone very well, including a 3-1 today as Alex Molcan gets home for us. So 3-1 for subscribers at vsin.com/picks. But no, Wimbledon, nothing else to say other than Sinner, of course, wins on the men's side as was expected. And then on the ladies' side, it was just as unpredictable as you could have possibly, thought it would be. That all was predictable in the end. Noemi.
I've got Delray Beach Open former champion Stan Wawrinka on the television right now, Gill. That was his biggest title, right? Never won anything bigger than that, right? Who's
he playing? Burruchaga?
Burruchaga, yep.
Yeah, Burruchaga should win. What's the score? Yeah.
He's up one set going to the second.
Who is Burruchaga?
Yeah.
Yeah. Noemi Doug, nice tan, Drew, making Gill look a little gaunt. There you go. Drew Dinsick rejoins us once again, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line, with his savagery, his savage tan, looking good in the LBC. Drew, before we get back to the National Football League, how's the Tour de France going for you?
It's going to be a winning tour, assuming that Tadej Pogačar does not crash out in the 5 stages that remain. Actually 6 because he hasn't really finished today. I have Remco Evenepoel, which again, if you are in trader mode, he's available at 76 cents. Sports fan mode, I think that works out to like minus 330. Remco Evenepoel wins stage 16. He is the best time trialer on tour. And I think ultimately he will be your second place rider in this year's Tour de France. If you're wondering what happened to Jonas Vingegaard, he crashed out, broke his collarbone. He's done. He got very lucky. I think that he decided to ride the Giro d'Italia this year and be, ultimately take home that prize because we have seen the last of him for 2026 likely. Tadej Pogačar is going to win Tour de France number 5. He is now in rare air among the greatest cyclists ever. 5 is kind of the current high watermark since they took Lance Armstrong's 7 away. So yes, Tadej Pogačar, I think is clean through. The drama right now is mostly just who's going to win King of the Mountains. Can you have a guy like Carapaz come from the clouds and steal it? Who's going to get third? Pretty close race right now between 2 young guys, Paul Sextus and Isaac Del Toro, are going to race to the wire for third place. I would lean Del Toro there if you have a market for top 3. I think he's, just in general, Team UAE is going to try to make sure he gets on the podium. You can still get a decent price on that. It's been a fun tour. It's been a weird tour. There's been all kinds of weird doping stuff, like anti-doping testing, waking these guys up in the middle of the night. Like, they have some sort of, kind of axe to grind. And I don't understand why to the degree I can tell you, they're all riding clean, or at least they're all riding with the same, Tour de France is kind of like F1. It's like you have a team of scientists who are getting you on the bike and in the best, kind of chemical condition to ride within the rules. And, from what I can tell you, there's no funny business going on. So, Pogačar, Slovenia's most recognized athlete in Slovenia.
Look at this guy.
Winning Tour de France number 5.
Gill, he is set to make 500,000 euros for winning the Tour de France. Ooh. Just a small dent in the 12 million that he takes home annually.
Oh, there you go.
I would have thought the Tour de France was worth way more. Apparently not.
Eat it, Luka. You're not the most famous Slovenian inside the confines of Slovenia. By the way, Drew, before we move on, can you name the 4 cyclists that have won 5 Tour de France's?
I'm sorry.
That's true.
Winning 5 championships is better than winning 0, which I think is Luca's current count, right? The 5. Eddie Merckx for sure. He's kind of the gold standard. And Miguel Indurain won 5 straight. Although I look a little bit sideways at those because the last couple of those was really when the chemical portion of the tour got a little squirrely. after Eddie Merckx and Miguel Indurain, you're going back to like the 40s, 30s, 20s, 10s. So that's before my time.
You probably would know Bernardino
Oh,
France
sure.
Late 70s, early 80s.
I don't think, did Chris Froome ever get 5? I don't think he got 5.
No. And then Jacques Anquetil in France, long time ago.
Jacques Anquetil, yes.
Okay, and then Pogacar would be the 5th. Okay, NFL, I know you guys did the NFC East recently on the deep dive. Has anything, you can seize on the NFC East, or you can sort of ask, answer more broadly. Has anything, and maybe the two meet, has anything really surprised you, either to the good or to the bad?
I was surprised at how low Andy. I was surprised at how low Andy was on the Washington Commanders, and he's not alone. There's a number of kind of folks in the Sharp community who are very out on the Commanders. I struggled with that one mightily because coming into last season, I had a rating on Jaden Daniels that was like top 5, and his clear, positive coherence with Cliff Kingsbury, I thought was going to fuel them to at least an awesome offense last year. He gets hurt in week 2, and I feel like that for that reason, his entire year 2 campaign was an incomplete. So I coming into last year with such a high rating on him, I didn't want to just completely flush that number and come in with like a league average type of quarterback rating for Washington. And so much of my rating is upweighted based on quarterback and scheme I'm still like league average rating on Washington, whereas I feel like a lot of people are ready to sell this team. The market in general, I think, is wildly high on the Giants. That looks like a very incomplete team to me. I am not buying at all that John Harbaugh is going to have some sort of renaissance in New York. I feel like we do this a lot. Coach kind of at the later stages of his career with a long run at a team. Finally, they part ways and he lands somewhere new. I can't recall any especially positive outcomes here. So I'm not exactly sure what Harbaugh was adding to, I would give Lamar Jackson, the Lions, share the credit for Baltimore's team success, in the later stages of that pairing. So I'm colder than the market on the Giants. I'm warmer than the market on the Commanders, although everybody is challenging me there. Cowboys and Eagles are fun because the Eagles are a high floor team, as mentioned, based on the fact that they're going to have a top 6 defense and that Vic Fangio is going to have that defense playing better in December than they're going to be in September. And in general, they have a very favorable schedule, the Eagles, that is. So the Eagles are going to get to 10, 11 wins, I think, pretty comfortably. And then the Cowboys are kind of the interesting wild card because they have so much more upside with their offense being potentially much better than people realize. I want to kind of point out that, one of the secret coups of the 2025 hiring cycle was Brian Schottenheimer pulling Clayton Adams away from Arizona. He leaves Arizona and Arizona's running attack just completely craters to the point where they were, wildly ineffectual. And then Dallas was able to pull an efficient, effective running attack out of whole cloth with a very, very questionable offensive line and weak running back room. And I give Clayton Adams a ton of that credit. And so if you can, repeat that success with a running, efficient running attack and take a little bit of the pressure off of Dak in terms of what you're asking him to do on, late down and shorter, third down completion distance with the weapons he's got, he's going to be, absolutely awesome. So I think Cowboys have upside to be better than people realize. But the Eagles have a high floor. So it's both of those teams to me are playoff teams. And if you're going to kind of swing for the fences on one of the other right now, I would pick Cowboys because, again, they have potentially a higher ceiling with their offense. So NFC East is going to be fun. I don't think you have a Super Bowl winner necessarily in that group. But definitely, give Cowboys probably the team that I'm the most excited to kind of rate once we see some real results.
Drewski, appreciate it as always. Congrats on Argentina making the finals, man. Appreciate it.
Best of luck, guys.
the sigh of relief. Coming back, more NFL on a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The Circa Survivor documentary is back for another season, and this one's bigger than ever. 7 all-new episodes kick off every Wednesday starting tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Episode 1 takes you inside the growth of the most electrifying contest in sports betting, now with $18.7 million on the line and a massive new Grandissimo format raising the stakes even higher. Follow the sharp minds and bold personalities who think they've got what it takes to go the distance, whether you play Circa Survivor yourself or just love the drama of a season-long grind. It's must-watch TV. That's must-watch TV. Check it out every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern on VSiN. This goes, of course, Kelley, through last year's contests, both Circa Survivor and Grandissimo.
That's right.
So, should be fun. Should be fun, and we'll see if Kelley Bydlon makes one of the episodes.
We'll see. That's if fat
drama.
Kelley Bydlon makes one of the episodes, or fatter Kelley Bydlon.
How do you feel about that when you see yourself? Are you like, I remember that guy?
I don't know. I'm actually like, I keep bringing it up because I'm kind of excited about it. I kind of want to see it, you know?
Okay.
But I mean, hey,
Eric,
the documentary is great. Go check that out. We got all the contests coming up here. Can't wait. What are the great times of the year, man? Starts putting money aside, right? Because you know you're going to be buying in all these contests. Better be thinking about that now. That's why the World Cup is great. That's what I keep saying about the World Cup, Gill. I'm like, hey, if it helps pay for a couple entries, great. That's right. That's awesome.
That's right. Eric Biggio from William Hill Caesars has chimed back in when we wrongfully apparently accused him of trying to jinx us. He said, guys, I've been running so bad that I couldn't jinx something if I had heavenly powers. LOL. Had Cam Young 150-1 on Saturday night, only to tease me when he got to minus 175 in play. Oh, well, such is life as a gambler. Toot your horn all you want about the Sox. Well deserved. Well, we're not going to toot it yet, man. We're not going to do it. Let's see. Where did I leave off
Long
here?
way to go, and man, the rainouts would be brutal. Like, that's just brutal. So you don't even get a chance to play the game. What are we talking about?
Yeah. Chris Heath, World of Sports is quiet and still for Drew. He might need an MLB bet other than the Dodgers. Ayaoya S69. I read an article this morning about LeBron, and Rich Paul had this quote, I think it's important for people to understand we're not making this about attention and a spectacle, unquote. Who's the bigger drama king, LeBron or Rodgers? Yeah. The Rodgers reunited with his family. Did I see this?
Yeah,
for the first time.
I saw that too.
In a decade?
I mean, I'm not gonna pretend to speak knowledgeably about it, but I saw those pictures floating around yesterday.
Delusional Spiral on Twitter says, if Purple Todd was fair game, Burnt Orange Drew should now exist. Turned out more sultry than I expected, but you get the idea. It's got an image of Drew up there.
I didn't think he was that bad today. It's just when you do put the three of us next to each other, it's just different lighting. There's different lighting. And
then Chris of St. Bart's eyeing any college futures yet. I'm not, but Michael Montesano will join us here momentarily. He's got a bunch of college football futures for us here momentarily. About the NFC East, because Drew was just talking about this. First of all, you wanted to plug his pod again. It's just that good.
It's become a regular part of my offseason, Gill, of just as we're prepping for the NFL season. They go an hour on each team. And I think the really important one is, like, I would recommend it for anybody who bets NFL, is interested in NFL, just wants to hear about their team. Maybe you don't even bet the NFL. I think there's a lot of great information there, great previews, but especially, and Drew hit on it here, and I think the Commanders are maybe one of the better examples of just, if you are a beginner of trying to build your own power ratings and where do you even start, those guys do such a great job of kind of talking through the process of what they do every offseason and what they blow up and what they bring over from the season prior. So I think that part alone, and specifically with the Commanders, Jaden Daniels. It's how do you properly rate this team heading into this season when, Drew had him rated as a top 5 quarterback just 2 years ago. And, Andy's rightfully bringing up, there's 3 different injuries through last year. You got to take that into account. It's just a fascinating conversation if you do build your own power ratings.
Well, listen, I'm a born and raised DC Skins fan, so I'm all about the Commanders. But I found myself nodding to a lot of what Drew was saying about most people are counter to his argument. Most people are anti-Commanders. I agree. Look, Jaden Daniels last year, and it all starts with Jaden. It all ends with Jaden.
Yes.
Right? It's just if you had a crystal ball and you could predict his health, then you're a long way towards solving the puzzle. But we just don't know. Last year, Missed weeks 3 and 4 with the sprained left knee. Remember, he got that in that Green Bay primetime game. So that was his first absence. Then he missed week 8 with a hamstring issue. Then he missed weeks 9 through 13 with a dislocated left elbow. Remember, that was the gruesome injury where he planted with his non-throwing arm. That was the fourth quarter of a blowout, by the way, it should be noted. And then for some ridiculous, that was in the loss to the Seahawks, another primetime game. And then he returned for whatever reason. I have no idea. I remember being upset about it at the time. Why is he playing again this year? They're already out of it. So he comes back in week 14, remember, against the Vikings, and he throws the pick 6 to Van Noy, I believe it was. Was it Van Noy? Maybe no, not Van Noy. No. What's my man's name? Who used to play for the Dolphins and then was with the Vikings?
Van Ginkel.
Van Ginkel. Yeah. Thank you. Van Ginkel. Van Ginkel pick 6, and he gets blasted after the pick, and he re-aggravates the injury, shelving him for the remainder of the season. He should have been shelved already. So listen, I think he started a grand total of 5 games last year, but it wasn't just him. They had injuries everywhere. McLaurin, remember, was in the holdout before the season. He was always dinged up because largely, I always say the holdouts usually result in that kind of thing. They're never like fully prepared for the season. So they're a big question mark. The real thing with the Commanders, and the reason that I agree with the sort of detracting side, is their schedule is brutal, Kelley.
Yeah.
And it's brutal early. And it's really hard, even if you're the most bullish Commanders person, to really feel how are they going to navigate this early part of the schedule and even have their head above water. It's at the Eagles. It's at the Cowboys. It's a Seahawks game. It's a London game against the Colts. Then you have one respite, maybe against the Giants, but then it's the Niners before you even have your bye, and you come out of the bye with the Eagles and the Rams. So it's like, dude, what is possibly going to be your record halfway through the season?
Yeah.
And that could set the tone for the whole thing. So it's really hard to really be high on a Commanders team whose season win total is 7.5. As far as the Eagles are concerned, and I'll just say this about, give a shout out once again to Aaron Schatz's FTN Football Almanac. Mike Tanier wrote all the blurbs about the NFC East teams. The Eagles are fascinating. They're obviously lined to win the division, but here's a couple facts, and then we'll get into sort of the more subjective stuff. But I didn't know this offhand. Eagles offense 3 and out last year on 29% of their drives, the highest in the NFL. 25th in the NFL with 29.75 yards per drive. Jalen Hurts, who we watch every week, but our brains might not process this. And this is where analytics are great, because our eyes see one game better than analytics, but analytics sees everything better than we do. Hurts either won't, I'll quote Tanier, Hurts either won't, can't, or even shouldn't throw over the middle. He threw to his secondary target on just 5.5% of his passes, the lowest figure among 38 qualifying quarterbacks. In other words, rookies Cam Ward, Tyler Shuck, and Dylan Gabriel were more likely to throw to a second read than Hurts. So what Drew was saying, it's like the Eagles defense is going to be spectacular, right? They got Jonathan Grenard now. Add him to, Reek Woolen, who they got, Quinyon Mitchell already there, Cooper DeJean, Zach Bond, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, on and on and on till the break of dawn. The defense is ridiculous. Yep. But Jalen Hurts, and I didn't really grasp this till reading this, he has whatever the football equivalent of the yips is, he kind of feels that way now at quarterback.
I struggle with this conversation because I think that I'm one of the. There were problems in that locker room last year, right? That was very obvious. There were reports about that all season long. And look, this is an Eagles team that finished with as many wins as they did and still underachieved a lot. I think my problem with this is I'm a believer in Jalen Hurts seemingly more than everybody. It took one season for everybody to flip against him. And those are perfectly fair stats that you just brought up, right? About throwing over the middle. I think there were problems behind the scenes here that there's a real opportunity for the Eagles to get sorted out and look like a much different and more powerful offense heading into the season. The only but for me on that, though, Gill, I'm an A.J. Brown guy. Like, I think A.J. Brown is a massive weapon that they have lost that I don't really know. There's cool, you got Mekhi Lemon in the draft. Like, I don't know. Lining up him and Devontae Smith and not having that massive number one go-to guy on the outside, I think it limits things even more for Jalen Hurts. So that's my one question. The offense is still a major question mark to me. I think Drew fairly brought up the defense should be so good that their floor is going to be so high that they could easily win this division. And I think when we talk about every other team in this division, and your Commanders probably most of all, it's swing high or swing low, because I think the amount of outcomes, the wide range of outcomes with each of these teams, either you believe in Jaden Daniels and they sail over, or Jaden Daniels sucks and they're trash.
But that's the thing. Even with all the warts on offense, the Eagles are still the best team in the division. And we'll get into more about it on the other side. But first, college football with Michael Montesano. Let's interrupt this NFC East talk with that, because we want some futures in college next on A Numbers Game at VSiN.
A Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Man, I love football. Can't wait to continue our NFC East discussion.
It's great.
So great. It shows you it's football and everything else. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we forget this while we're watching other things in the summertime. Trip Tepper on Twitter. The Tour de France isn't clean. When riders are being tested in the middle of the night, that's a very clear signal that riders are doping. The 2017 Doc Icarus showed how athletes circumvent the testing. There you go. There's some Tour de France controversy this morning. Brosek 1870. Eric Biggio. This is great. Eric Biggio scoops all the money because of the Marlins last month and has the audacity to send that tweet. Shaking my head, and I'm not even back in the Red Sox. Can't wait for Fez to congratulate you Friday, too.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Fez better have my money. That's all I got to say. Bruce
Fez will not be with us on Friday.
Oh, that's true. What's his excuse this week?
I didn't really college visits, right?
Oh, right. He's taking his boy to college, right?
Did he ever?
He didn't answer where.
Yeah,
no,
right.
he never. So this is our chief complaint with Stevie in the group chat. He does outgoing, but like if you ask him something directly, he casually ignores it.
Yeah, that was the exact text conversation yesterday between Gill, Steve, and myself. It was, hey, I'm out this week, college visit. So I was like, oh, great. Where are you guys headed? Nothing. Silence.
Nothing. By the way, Todd kills him on this. Todd will just pester him until he gets an answer. Bruce Dobing, in a great distraction, watched the World Cup in Wimbledon nonstop while babysitting our infant grandson. It's a toss-up. Whose howls of outrage were greater, Andy or the fainting GOAT players hitting the turf faking mortal injuries? The numbers guys. Wait, is this some sort of Mandela effect I'm experiencing? I see no evidence that VSiN, that the name is or ever has been the Vegas Statistics and Information Network. What about the Berenstein Bears? Well, it's the Vegas Stats and Information Network.
Yeah.
T-Pars 2. Good morning, Gill. 3-1 on the tennis plays. Let's go. Yes, sir. Glad you were on them. Thank you, T-Pars 2. Mako, Shades of Mako. I need to relearn football. Help me. I have no idea where the contests currently sit either. That's right. There's no standings quite yet, if that's what you mean. Foos. LeBron to the Clippers could have legs. Sets him up in the tech world with owner. Wife happy she stays in LA. If it's truly up in the air, it could happen. And JC about the Commanders. We'll get back to the NFC East talk. He goes, don't worry, Washington fans. Mentally stable Brandon Ayuk is on the way. God, I hope not.
All right, I have a couple more Commanders comments, but this one I got to bring up before I forget, Gil. Like, Terry McLaurin, he is so awesome, but can we get him some help at some point?
Please,
like, it's just, that was one of my biggest takeaways for like my second dive into the NFC East. You're like, Jaden Daniels can be great, but he's got one guy to throw the ball to. He's awesome, but he's got one guy.
And he's starting to, get up there in age too. So let's talk some college football. Michael Montesano joins us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on Twitter at the very, very thinly veiled I'm in the gym 24/7 bets and reps. He joins us now to talk some college football with us. The initial Circa Booby Prize winner of $100,000, by the way, back in the pandemic year. How you doing, Michael?
Doing well, guys. Thanks for having me. It's that time of year again. Let's talk about some real football right now.
Let's talk about some real football. America. Let's do this. Let's talk college football. Clemson to make the conference title game, to make the ACC conference title game 7-1. You like this bet?
Yeah, I heard Adam Burke yesterday talking about, I think he's got them to win it. So I said, well, I guess all great minds are kind of think alike. I don't have him to win it, but there are a couple shops out there, FanDuel, BetMGM. I'm not sure anything in Vegas, what they have, but there is a market to make the conference title game. And I took Clemson. I actually got 650 at FanDuel. I just checked BetMGM late last night. You could actually get 7-1. Not a lot of expectations this year from Dabo, and that might do him some well. Maybe keep some of his detractors off his back for a minute or two. But they are 9th in the conference in returning production, 3rd in the conference in roster strength. They have 10 total starters back. Most of their talent is homegrown. If you look at Phil Steele's homegrown chart, they are number 1 in the conference in their homegrown chart, so they have some continuity there. The schedule is they miss SMU, they miss Louisville, they miss Virginia, they miss Pittsburgh, 4 of the top teams in the conference. SMU and Louisville have to play each other, so there's going to be a loss there. I have them favored in 6 of the 8 conference games. They do have to play Miami, but they get Miami at home, so maybe we could pull an upset there, and they do go to Kelley's Florida State, where that is a toss-up game right there. If they can get 7-1, I don't know or understand. I guess you need an MIT degree to understand the tiebreakers and the ACC. But if they can get to 7-1, they have an excellent shot at getting to the conference title game. And it's 7-1 or plus 650. I'll take my shot there.
It's so funny with college football schedules. I mean, I guess you could do this in schedules in every sport, really. But college football specifically, because it's the tightest schedule, how you can spin it either way. Like you just spun it positively towards Clemson doing well. Or I could say it this way, right? A lot of teams they play that didn't go bowling last season, like Carolina, Syracuse, Kelley's FSU Seminoles, Vatech, Syracuse, probably all are improved this year. The road game at LSU to start, not good. And then they go to Cal on the road before they play Miami. Also Georgia Tech, Duke. So it's like, I could also spin it that way and be like, ooh, I don't know if this is going to be good, with Clemson. So
yeah, what I do, I have them with my power ratings and it's all based on win probabilities. They are up there. Obviously, SMU and Louisville are very good. And one of them are the odds favorite to get to the title game. But if one of them is going to have a loss, maybe one of them will have 2 losses. Clemson can sneak in with that 1 loss to Miami and we can cash the ticket.
All right. Speaking of Cal, which I believe I just mentioned in there,
you have a play on
Cal's season win total.
Yeah, I jumped on Cal under 6.5 wins, minus 120. I did improve their power rating by almost 2 points. So it's not from a lack of talent or a lack of a quality quarterback. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, but Jared is a very good quarterback at Cal. Right now, they only have 48% returning production. That's ranked 76 in the country. They only have 3 defensive starters back. They have a completely new coaching staff between the head coach and the the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. They had 4 wins last year by 4 points or less. They finished 105th in my adjusted points per game margin model and 83rd in my adjusted scoring margin model. If you look at it, there's possible for some regression coming. They have 2 difficult non-conference games, UCLA at Syracuse. Overall, I have them favored in only 2 games with toss-ups in 4 and dogs of 4 more in 6 games. So they're talented. The schedule isn't conducive for them. My numbers came out to 5.1 wins. If I get 6.5 at minus 120, I got some value there. And so I'm going to jump on Cal under the 6.5 wins.
You can't pronounce Sagapulotele? That's not your jam.
Not even going to try it. It's like Kelley trying to pronounce the tennis stars.
Hey, Brett Chaga's doing great. Okay.
Cal, by the way, misses Clemson, Georgia Tech, Florida State, Miami, NC State, Pitt, Syracuse, and Wake Forest. They miss all those teams on their schedule. Let's go to USC. You like them not only on the season win total over, but you like them on an alt over as well.
Yeah, so a little story. Yesterday, I was listening to Stormy and JVT, and they were Stormy's high on Penn State. She was talking about maybe taking their alt-win total at plus 160 over 9.5. Well, if they're going to go over 9.5 Penn State, why not just take them to make the college football playoff at plus 450? You'd have to think from the Big Ten, 10 wins will get them in. We'll kind of use that scenario for USC. If you look at USC, I'm really high on USC this year. It's Lincoln Riley's best team. He hired a tremendous defensive coordinator in Gary Patterson. He's got Jada Maeva, which is a Heisman Trophy candidate, back. But if you look at the market to make the college football playoff, you got anywhere between plus 240 to plus 270. I think they're going to get to 10 wins, even though my numbers kind of shade a little bit less than that. I believe in this USC team this year, with 3 very, very difficult games against Indiana and Ohio State and Oregon. But if you believe in that, if you take the alt over 9.5, 10 wins should get them in. If you go to DraftKings, that's plus 300. I'm gonna take that method right there, and USC will get to the conference playoffs. The college football playoff.
College football playoff. And the alt over 9.5 wins. Am I reading that correctly? That's what you want also? Alt over 9.5?
No. Yes. Over 9.5 wins. That's the play. It's not to make the college football playoff. The play is over 9.5 wins, and that should get them there.
That still takes some onions because, as you pointed out, they don't miss anybody on that schedule. Penn State, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, UW. And then Liberty to win Conference USA is also a bet from Mike at 3-1.
Real quick, Liberty to win Conference USA 3-1. Number 1 in returning production, or number 2 in returning production. Number 1 in roster strength. Regression's coming their way. They had 4 games where they lost really close last year, so we're gonna take Liberty.
Thank you, Mike.